Hello, my name is Bernhard Geberger from Vienna. I'm the founder of TANGO-DJ.AT. This is an association for the preservation and provision of Argentine tango music. Besides of organizing tango events like the International Milonga here in Vienna and the Vienna Calling Tango Marathon, we are taking care of tango recordings. So we produce transfers for the Tango archive and maintain the TangoDJ database. So most of the time is going into this. As far as I'm aware, the TangoDJT database is the largest digital accessible tango archive in the world, and it's possible by our supporting members. But it is available as a free research tool as well to everybody. So let's take a look at it. If you don't know the address or you're telling other people about it, you can let them know to look for Tango database, TangoDJ database, and you should come across plenty of links. If you end up on the homepage of TangoDJT, then you have in the main menu a button database. If you click on this, you will be taken to the database. If it's your first visit, there is a good chance you end up on a splash screen before the database, but it's only once. It offers you the free access to the database available to everybody, as well as the two membership options. So there is a free a database membership. It's 42 euros a year, and it gives you unlimited access to the database. So all its sound samples, cover arts, and metadata. And then there's a full membership options for 84 euros a year. If you are aware of the numbers, 42 gives you the answer to everything, and 84 euros will give you double. So also the questions. It gives you, besides of full access to the database, also access to the membership area. We have a record label called Tango Records, and we do publish very rare and hard to find tango recordings to our supporting members. That's not mainstream, but if you're a collector or a tango DJ building up a huge collection, you might be interested in this as well. The database should be interesting for almost everybody. Now I want to say a big thank you to all the people who decided for one of the membership options, since the database is causing a lot of work and expenses. And it's available for free. It keeps on up and running by all the people deciding to go for a membership option. So thank you a lot for your support. If you take a look here at the free version, you will see the database looking like this. So there's a limited search form, and you have access to all the recordings. At the moment it's 76,331, and you can look and search in all of the archive, but the information given, the functionality and information given is limited. So you have title, genre, artist, the recording date, if available the full one, the album name, a publisher, and feedback button. There is no sound sample available for the free version, and no additional cover arts, but just the front cover. You have access to the user manual. You can send feedbacks, you can reset the search form. If you decide for a membership, you can use this subscribe button or one of these icons on the side to choose one of the membership database or full membership. If you are a member, please double check if you use the database that you're actually logged in, otherwise you're limited to this free version and its functionality. So you want to go on login. Okay. It's all logged in already. So it went so fast, it saved my, it wasn't a cache. Normally you're taken to a login screen where you put in your login information, but this, because I was logged in before, it took me directly to the members version. So this is the form for the members. I will talk you through it top to bottom. First line is the DB news. Normally it's only one line, so it doesn't take too much space. If we do a massive change of data or we add a lot of things, I will give a comment here in the news. Since it was end of the year and there was plenty of stuff happening, this is now much more than it normally is. I was reworking all the Francisco Canaro recordings, more than 8,500 by now, and adding composers, author, disc and matrix numbers, mostly based on Christoph Lanner's discography. And towards the end of the year, I was very happy to announce cooperation with 2 digital labels. One is Tango Time Travel from Jensingo in Bene. And the other one, being around for some years, Christian Xell's Tango Tunes. I'm very happy to have both of them in cooperation and being added to the database at the moment. I'm currently working to add all Tango tunes. It's going to take a few more weeks, but eventually it's going to be in the database. There are going to be 2 more parts of this video. One is explaining the search result metadata in detail and how to interpret them. And the third part is going to deal with exactly those digital releases and the way we included them in the database, because this is not like typical archive work. On one hand, we do the same like national libraries and archives, that we produce transfers of records and add the metadata to the database. But since we try not only to preserve but also to provision Argentine tango, we want to make available information about any existing tango recording. So by now, if there's a professional produced digital release being published, I'm going to add this to the database as well, since it's something you can buy and have access to. And especially with these 2 products, there are very exciting new transfers being made available, and I think it's very helpful for you to be able to compare them to the stuff existing. So those are news. Then you have some function buttons. The member button brings you to the members area. If you're a member, I will explain those later on. There's a user manual. It will give you detailed explanation of every function and feature. Basically everything I'm telling you now, you can read up here in the manual. So if you have any questions, please consult this. If you have a general feedback, please use this feedback button. You can give me a message about the database or any question you have or comment you have. If your feedback is about a special recording, just to have some search results here, there is on the very right hand side of the search result table, with every recording you have a little feedback button. If you hover over almost anything, you will see little tooltips explaining you the function. So this might be helpful as well. So if you have a feedback regarding a given recording, so you found like a typo or mistake for a given recording, please use this feature, because your comment is then connected with this recording and it's easier for me to understand which one you are referring to. So then the search form, you have different filters and sort options. If you're looking for just CDs or LPs or 70 records or digital releases, before you do your search, please just choose whatever you're looking for. It's a very effective way to narrow down the media you're interested in. The sort options, it's a preset of sorting. By default, it's by titles, so this is what is shown now. You can see that the sorted columns are highlighted compared to the other ones. It's a bit light red. And all these presets have a set of sorting options. So the first is title, but then all the same titles, they are sorted by recording date from old to new. and then artist, and then rating. There's also album, which is sorting by album and track number, artists, and the date. So depending on what you're looking for, your type of research or use case, you might find one of these presets being more practical than the other. A little bit different is this filter by recommendation. So you see, as a member, you get this column DJ recommendation. It's shown by a little diamond. The idea is that I highlight the best version available. So if there's only one, like here, Tempos Viejos from 1926, there's only one LP covering this, then it's by definition highlighted because it's the only version, so therefore it's the best one. If there are more versions, like the instrumental version of Canaro 1927 here, then I try to distinguish the best one. It's sometimes a subjective, personal decision. So please feel free to compare yourself. You can, as a member, listen to all the tracks and compare them to the others available. This is one of the unique features of my database, that you can listen to precisely this given medium. So it's not a generic version of the recording Tempos Viejos like in most other databases or portals, and you don't know actually which release it is. You can listen here to precisely this CD or this compilation or this LP and compare the quality, so to get a better idea of where is the best version of this recording. Sometimes I can't decide, or there are different reasons why different versions are I consider the best versions. So there might be the case that a recording is tagged twice or more often. Let's see if this is the case here somewhere. I think somewhere. Yes, here, Ada Falcon. So in this case, there's one version from CD and one from LP. And one of the reasons I tagged both is that depending on if you're looking for a version on CD releases, this one is the best of all the CD releases. If you are more into the LPs, this is the best from the LP versions I have. So these DJ recommendations are narrowing down the search result, but it's not like every recording has exactly one recommendation. There might be recordings with multiple recommendations. Anyway, if you use this filter now on your existing search result, you click on filter by recommendation, it's hiding all the tracks without the diamond or DJ recommendation. So it narrows down the search result to basically the most interesting versions of the recording. So it might help a lot to get a more precise search result. This goes also hand in hand with the search result summary list here. So if we look at all the search results of the search Tempos Viejos by Canaro, there are 25 versions of it, and it says unique title 7. This is basically more the discographic number, but it's not precise. If there is any typo in the title, the algorithm is just like summing up similar titles and recording dates. It gives you a better idea of how many unique recordings there are, but it might not be absolutely precise. In this case, we can take a brief look. It's 25 altogether, as 1 in 26. Then instrumental version 27 is 2. Then Ada Falcon is 3. With cello is 4. Then cello with orchestra is 5. Arena 6 and Rondo 7. So 7 unique titles. If we filter by recommendation, we see that we have 8. So 1 is double, as I said. I couldn't decide here CD or LP version. So it's almost down to the discography number, but it's not. It may not be precise. The search form, well, I used some of it already. Most of it is self-explanatory. Use the title to search for title, artist, album, genre, date. You can look for just a given date, so 1 day or a year, as well as a period from 1930 to 1935, for example. Publisher, composer, author. Composer, author is combined, so whatever you put in here is being searched for in composer and author. Sometimes the roles are not precisely clear, and given composer might also be the author or not. Sometimes given composer is just given for both, and sometimes we know, sometimes we don't. And disk number, matrix numbers. For example, comment is missing. If you want to look for something in comment, that's also possible. For example, especially for composer and author, if this is not clear, I try to find out using SADAIC website what this recording is registered with. If you want to do a new research, you can do reset page. It will clear the form. You can do a plain new search, and if you look for SADAIC, it will look in all the columns available, so also in comments, and you will find all the recordings where I gave a comment. And if composer author is not very clear, then I might use SADAIC and note that SADAIC was used for composer and author. In general, please always consult the comment column if you are a member, because recording date, there is only one possible date I can enter, but sometimes it's not verified, and different recording dates. There are documents showing different recording dates, and if this is the case, I will write this in the comment section, as well as when the composer and author is not verified, and other issues with the metadata of the given recording. Also, if we go at digital releases, not digital, I wanted to show the 78 FM records. I will give a comment if a record is coming from a given collection, and it was lent to me, and also who did the transfer, and then most transfers I also give the information for the equalization curve, so you have an idea of why this sounds like that, and compare with your own work, or, well, it's an additional information. So this is an additional feature for the search all, that you can look in columns not presented in the search form. There are 3 different forms of search buttons here, and if you want to know the precise differences, you can look up the manual. It's my Legastini kicking in. What was I looking for? Tiempos viejos. It's tiempos viejos, no? It's not 78, so don't forget to reset things you put in before. So flexible, regular, strict. If you want to have the search algorithm look for exactly what you put in, you use strict. Regular is like a mix of not super strict, but not too flexible. Flexible is the most generic one, so it will find most search results depending on what you put in. What's the difference? For example, if you use accents or not, if you use exclamation marks and dots and commas, stuff like this, which can be present in the title of Tango. So if you're not really sure of how to write something and you want to increase the chance to find everything, use flexible, but in most cases regular is working just fine. So then you have your search results. You see that you have plenty more metadata available than in the free version. Some of it I discussed already, the DJ recommendation. There's also rating. In details, I discussed this in the second part of the video of how to interpret search results, but well, you have a rating of the tango given, or the recording. You have a publishing date, composer, author, the disc number, matrix number, a comment, I mentioned that already, and a little m. If you hover over that, you will see when this entry was modified the last time. So it gives you an idea of it was recently worked on, or if it's a rather old one. And another feature, I think it's frequently overlooked, and it's a pity, because besides of the sound sampler, so you can listen to everything, you can click on this front cover. It's not only given the front cover of all this for every track, you can click on it, and then you can have these arrows. You can flip through the whole media. So this is a double LP, it has a front cover, a back, and then it has two insides, since it's folding up, two inside LP covers with all the information given on the LP, as well as the media label. So that's a really unique feature. I don't know of any database having this, so you can click on any entry here and click through the whole media. If there's a booklet available, you can flip through the whole booklet of it. So please remind that you have this option. It's a really, you see the inside of the CD booklet. You have really everything being scanned and available here at your fingertips. Another feature for you as a member is this favorites. So if you have found something you really find interesting, so this best version of Tiempos Viejos, you are traveling and then you're playing around with the database and then find like, this is an interesting version, you can select this little heart, and back home when you log in again, you click off this favorite button. The search will show you all the tracks you clicked as your favorites. So you can deselect them again, and then it's not showing again the next time. But this is a very efficient way to remember given recordings you want to work on or you want to remember. Also, you have a lot of metadata shown here on the search result. So maybe you don't have, your screen is not as wide as mine, or you're not interested in all those columns. There's a feature probably also not known by plenty of people. If you hover on over a column, you see a little X. And if you click this and you say, I'm not interested in composer or author, you can hide this column. So I also don't know, I don't want to know the disk number or the matrix number. That way you can customize the columns to your likings. And whatever you are interested in, you can optimize the view accordingly. If you want to see everything again, you click on reset columns and you see all the columns back again. Another feature which is a little bit hidden is that you can, besides of the presets for the sorting, you can click on these little arrows. For example, you want to sort like a given search result by the ratings. If you click once, it's from bad to good. If you click again, you have the best versions to the worst ones. And then you can also like staple or stack these sortings. So you want to have the best recordings, but from old to new, for example, because there are different ones. So you can shift click on a second column, and now it's the best ratings with the newest versions to the oldest. And you can also change that by shift click again, and now you have the oldest to the newest. And still first criteria is the rating. So by that you can combine any way of sorting the columns to your liking and what you want to use. And the last feature I want to highlight is that within the search result you have these links. So now we search for Tiempos Viejos, and you'll see that, interesting, there is a version with Canaro Chalo. What else is Canaro Chalo? And you click on Canaro Chalo and you will find all the recordings by Francisco Canaro with the vocalist Chalo. So here we are, it's quite a bit. 8084. And if you say like, very interesting, there is this LP with having the best version of Amor de Pajaso. Maybe the other interesting things like a collector, maybe you want to look for this LP, you can click on this LP and it will take you the search results of this LP sorted by track, and then you will see what else, which other recordings are featured on this LP. I think this is a very efficient way of navigating through the search results, and also to find new things you were initially not looking for. So I think it's a very cool feature. So I think this is enough. Second part, we'll discuss details in the search function. For example, why. I'll try to find this in my initial search. I showed this briefly. There are recordings of Orchestra Francisco Canaro con Chalo. And then there's also Chalo con a comp Francisco Canaro. And this is not like by accident or a typo. There's a meaning behind that, and we discussed this in the second part of the video. The third part is discussing the new digital releases, especially Tango Time Travel and Tango Tunes, and how we add them to the database. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best new year 2021. Hopefully we are going to dance tango again. For me, it was and it will be always a lot of work with the Tango database, and I hope you found some time and the motivation to listen to your tango music as well, and you might find my database helpful to do research on your music or to discover new tango music for yourself. If you want to support or you have an idea of how to contribute or help the project, please get in touch with us. Otherwise, big thank you to all supporting members. You keep this project up and running. I can't say that often enough how thankful I am for you to support this project. Thank you so much, and see you around.